One of the most famous essays by Martin Heidegger is The Question Concerning Technology. In this essay, Martin Heidegger asks for the essence of technology, what technology is and how it unfolds historically, especially in modernity and in our epoch. Given that it's Martin Heidegger, the question that he's really asking, though, is the question of being. And so what he comes to conclude is that the essence of technology is nothing technological. Instead, what technology is a destiny of being. It is, in fact, our destiny. It's, in that sense, the realm in which we live, in which everything that is, including the human being, is reduced to and has to appear as Bestand, a standing reserve. So Martin Heidegger traces in his many different essays on the question of technology how Gestell came to be and how Gestell operates, how being, as it were, is operative today in this epoch, and also what then the real danger of techniques in its essence really is, looking away just from the nuclear bomb and other machinery, etc., that is extremely destructive, yes. But Heidegger's question is, what is it that is the inherent danger in being as such, and especially in Gestell? Because he sees Gestell as the utmost danger of being, and therefore he sees the human being in modernity, almost privileged, one could say, as making an experience with being in a manner that perhaps humans weren't able to do so before. Now, in the changing landscape, what happens is that the world, the Earth, becomes a planet. That's to say, it becomes planetary. Globalization is perhaps a more prevalent term that we use. And here, something occurs that Heidegger refers to as the Europeanization of the world, which occurs at the same time as Europe forgets itself. So the technicization of the world, of the Earth as planet, is owed to the European Occidental mindset and technology, which is itself, however, originating from philosophy and from philosophical systems of concepts. Those colonize the world in the moment in which Europe is already forgetting itself. So the task for the human being to try and become free in this time, in this age, to try and establish a free relationship with technology, is to overturn Gestell and framing from within, so that the technological machinery, tools, but also just Gestell itself and framing itself does not enslave the human being. And what we're going to do in my new course on Heidegger's essence of technology is to trace how he understands Gestell, what he means by the quote-unquote essence of technology, why we should think of this as the realm of techniques, really, what he means by the Europeanization of the world, what the role of language is. And now, of course, today with large language models and AI, etc., we really have to ask the question, what is language? Which dimension is it in which the human being dwells? Also, what is physis? What is nature? What is the relationship between science and theory and framing, or Gestell and technology? And also, how there could be a turning so that we are not enslaved. Now, what's, I think, exciting about this is when Heidegger wrote his essays on technology and gave his public talks, people were not very receptive about this, and they thought that he was talking about something demonic in technology, and he doesn't. And he also explicitly says that he's not against technology. But he did want people to start thinking about what technology is, because what he saw is that technology is simply used as an instrument. It's seen as another a human institution, as a means to an end, in terms of the cause-effect relationship, where we can postulate certain desired effects and find the causes to effectuate those effects. And we can simply use technology, for example, for the peaceful means in terms of nuclear energy, for example. But this, for Heidegger, was not enough, because the danger inherent in being and in Gestell did not come to the fore. It didn't show itself. But I think that almost 100 years on, 50, 70 years on, since his times of writing on the question concerning technology, we are in a different place where we begin to see what the danger of technology really is. You have to understand, at the time he was writing, washing machines, cars, etc., those were just overall, we might even assume to be basically simple machines that helped human beings, that in some sense empowered the simple human being and took relieved them of much labor and toil. But what Heidegger really foresaw is something else, which is, if we turn towards being as such, that being as such is the danger, and that we always already dwell within that danger, and that in the age of technology, this is really coming to the fore. So Heidegger sees something profound occurring in the essence of technology, which makes this epoch, which makes our epoch. And as now with the digital virtual world and with AI generating millions and billions of images, so much text that no human being can ever read, we really have to, and could never write, of course. No, there's already been more text written in the past couple of years than humanity will ever be able to write. So we have to really begin to ask the question, what is technics? And I'd like to invite you to do so with me while we read Heidegger and go through some of the most important texts that he wrote on the question concerning technology. We'll read together the question concerning technology, die Frage nach der Technik, his dialogue with the Japanese visitor on the essence of language, and also on the Europeanization of the world, the technicization of the world. So how European philosophical systems, especially modern European philosophy, hangs together with the colonization of the world and the technicization of the world. And then we're going to read Science and Reflection, which is a very important text where Heidegger addresses the relationship between theory and reality, how theory frames reality. And we're also going to look at what Heidegger doesn't look at, but we're going to consider the relationship between ideology and reality, how ideology and frames reality, which of course forms part of this. And we're going to end the course with an intense reading of the text Die Kehre, the turning and technology, where Heidegger addresses how an overturning of technology from within could take place so that we can establish a free relationship with technology and are not enslaved by it. So if you follow the link in the description of this video, sign up and I'd see you inside. If you have time for the seminars, they begin on the 18th and 19th of October 2025. If you don't have time for the seminars, just take the self-study tier. There will be 3 weekend seminars beginning, as I said, on the 18th of October and the 19th of October, and then the weekend after and the weekend after. So the first weekend of November will be the last weekend seminars. So there will be 6 seminars in total, plus a student symposium where you get to present your own work, essay, thoughts, etc. on the question concerning technology, what you see is occurring in this epoch. We have to start taking this seriously. One of the things that I despise so much about university is how little this is actually being taken seriously. And it's not just about Heidegger, it's about any philosopher who wants to tell us what modernity is. It ultimately just gets sucked into the machinery of the university, and it is no longer, it loses its urgency. There's an urgency. We need to understand who we are, what is going on, so that there can be an overturning of this epoch and a way out, an escape from, for example, total surveillance, digital ID, etc. We need to understand first what is affording itself, what shows itself, what is forcing itself rather upon us. So I hope that you can join me and many others as we go through these texts together, read them together, and trying to figure out what is going on. Thank you so much.